Welcome back. Now for your 5-day weather forecast, we go outside to Melinda Warren.
And now here's your 5-day weather forecast. Today we will have patches of fog, but that will clear later this afternoon. We'll have a high of 19 and a low of 13. Friday will be sunny with increasing cloudiness in the afternoon. There is also a chance of showers. We'll have a high of 20 and a low of 13. Saturday will be rainy and windy with a high of 8 and a low of 8. Sunday, there will be periods of rain with a high of 8 and a low of 4. Monday will be rainy and windy with a high of 6 and a low of 3. That's all for your 5-day weather forecast. Now back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Melinda. Turning now to national and international news. Britain's recession has ended, for now. The country's fiscal report released today shows a growth of 1.1% in GDP. This is the first growth in the country's economy since late last year and the best since 2007. But economists are saying the figures have been inflated by the recent Summer Olympics.
A member of the Pope's personal staff is set to be locked up in a Vatican prison. Paolo Gabriele, seen in this footage from the BBC, has been the Pope's butler since 2006. Earlier this month, he was arrested for stealing files from the Vatican and leaking them to an Italian journalist. While Gabriele did not deny the allegations, he says he took the files because he was disgusted by things he saw going on behind the scenes in the Vatican. Gabriele has been under house arrest since October 6th and will spend the rest of his 18-month sentence in a cell inside the Vatican.
Is a sailor still a sailor without a ship? Crew members of the Argentinian military arrived in Buenos Aires today after being forced to leave their ship at a port in Ghana. The Fragata Libertad was halted after a Ghanaian judge agreed that the Argentinian government owed money to an investment fund. U.S. hedge fund NML Capital argued it is owed $370 million after Argentina's debt default a decade ago. Nearly 300 of the ship's crew members flew home this morning while the ship remains seized. NML Capital says it will allow the ship to be released if it is paid $20 million.
Hurricane Sandy has touched down in Cuba today. The tropical storm, which hit Jamaica yesterday as seen in this footage, started raining down on Cuba's east coast this morning. It hasn't let up as it's moving inland, and meteorologists say it is expected to maintain strength and hit the Bahamas as a hurricane today. So far, 2 people have died as a result of the storm.
The federal court has ruled disgraced media mogul Conrad Black doesn't have the right to a hearing on whether he will remain an officer of the Order of Canada. The court says his credibility is an issue. Black wanted to stand before the 11-person panel which looks over the prestigious Order of Canada title. He was warned last year by the council that his honor might be terminated because of his 42-month stint in prison. Black was inducted into the Order of Canada in 1990.
Thanks to digital advances, you can now listen to what experts are calling the oldest playable recording of an American voice and the first ever capturing of musical performance. The recording was originally created on a Thomas Edison-invented phonograph in St. Louis in 1878. It was made on a sheet of tinfoil and is believed to be one of only a handful of tinfoil sheets that still exist. The clip will be played using modern technology at a local St. Louis theater today.
And now with your sports news, here's Sarah Ricks.
Starting with varsity sports, Humber's soccer teams are set to compete in the OCAA Championship Friday and Saturday. The men's first game has them head-to-head against Sheridan. They'll need to place first or second for a spot at Nationals. The women kick off the semifinal against Centennial on Friday. They need to win gold at the tournament in order to advance. Fanshawe and Algonquin also go head-to-head on Friday. The bronze medal game happens Saturday at 1 p.m. The gold medal match starts at 3:30. Back in men's soccer, Seneca and St. Clair also vie for the championship title. The gold medal winner will be determined Saturday at 2:30 p.m. The badminton team will also be in action this weekend, competing in the Georgian Invitational Tournament. Humber is coming off a successful start to the season with first-place victories in men's singles, women's singles, and men's, women's, and mixed doubles at the Humber Cup earlier this month. In World Series news, last night Detroit took a pounding from the San Francisco Giants. 3 home runs from Giants third baseman Pablo Sandoval helped the home team to an 8-3 victory, giving them a 1-0 series lead. Babe Ruth, Reggie Jackson, and Albert Pujols are the only other players to hit 3 homers during a World Series game. The action is set to continue tonight from San Francisco. The Giants' Madison Bumgarner will hit the mound against the Tigers' Doug Fister. In the saga that is the NHL lockout, surprise, surprise, it's still going on. Today is the deadline to save the full 82-game season. It doesn't look like the league or players are anywhere close to agreeing. Players asked for a meeting with the NHL yesterday, but no talks are scheduled. The NHL commissioner says the prospect of a full season is unlikely because the union isn't engaging in the league's proposal and hasn't offered a new one of their own. The Toronto Football Club is officially out of the CONCACAF Champions League after losing 1-0 to Santos Laguna yesterday in Mexico. The team is also dead last in the MLS and will wrap up league play on Sunday against Columbus. And keep your eyes peeled for a pair of Olympic medals. 2 British athletes reported their London 2012 bronzes were stolen at a club last night. Olympic rower Alex Partridge and field hockey player Hannah McLeod are taking to Twitter and asking for the public's help. Well, maybe they can just share Lance Armstrong's. Following the doping scandal, the IOC says they may strip Armstrong of his cycling bronze from the 2000 Sydney Games. They are currently determining if an 8-year statute of limitations applies. That's all for sports. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Sarah. After the break, we'll get the latest in entertainment from Mum Tallulah.
Tom Cruise is suing 2 publications while Chantel quit on Bachelor last night. All that and more coming up on your entertainment update.